relationship with Randy Savage started a long time ago, and I'm sure you also had dealings with him in WWE, but do you have any thoughts on Savage? Because I know the Poffos were a thorn in your side at the start, but you worked with them in the end.
Yeah, Randy, to this day, is the most honorable wrestler I ever knew. His word, he would die rather than break it. He is the only wrestler that Vince Jr. called and went from Tennessee to the WWE. He's the only one that told Vince McMahon, only after I give Jerry whatever notice he asks for. And Vince McMahon is the one that told me that. And Vince asked me, what do you think about us bringing Randy up to work in the office? And I said, you know, I love the man. You know what I think. And Vince brought him in, had him moved to Stanford. And why it fell apart and he never had him in the office, I don't know.
Apparently Randy didn't want to finish his in-ring career at that point, from what I understand.
I don't know. I just know Randy was very, very angry. If I hadn't have been at WrestleMania 10, that might have been a physical altercation.
Oh, really?
Oh, everybody was scared to death of Randy Savage. And it wasn't that I was a tough guy, but I just knew, you know, he cared as much about me as I did. And I ran down the hall and grabbed him and took him into a dressing room there. And do you know Little Richard?
Yeah.
He's a funny dude and a little bit effeminate. And so here I got Randy and a bear hug, and I push him in, and it's in Little Richard's dressing room. And Randy is screaming, I'll kill him, I'll kill him, I'll kill him. And so I finally got him calmed down. But
is that because he didn't like the finish?
I think it was a cauldron that boiled over. I think it was that Vince had said, I'm going to bring you in the office, and didn't. I don't think well, it wasn't the match, because Vince said, you set up Randy's match. So I set that up. And they
I think
had
he was wrestling Crush, right?
Fight all over the building matches. Or Falls Count Anywhere, yeah. But back to the way it started, Randy was running opposition to us, and he would go on his TV and knock Lawler and Dundee every week and knock our matches. And, you know, there's a funny story. I'm sitting in the Memphis locker room, and we had a private dressing areas, but we had this big room where everybody would sit around and tell stories and, you know, just talk and joke. And one of the boys said, Jerry, why does Randy Savage and his daddy spend their whole hour talking about us? So I made the offhanded comment, you'll have to ask somebody else, because I don't know how crazy people think. Sputnik Monroe's sitting right beside him. He jumps up in a Sputnik fashion and he said, by God, I'll tell you how crazy people think. And of course the dressing room broke up. He storms out and tells us to go have sex with ourselves in a crude way. But anyway, when they threw in the towel, Randy called me and said, Jerry, I just want to tell you, I appreciate the way you've acted throughout this, because I've been a real fool, and I just admire you, and I wanted to tell you that we're going to get out of your hair. And I said, what are you going to do, Randy? He said, I don't know. I guess I'll try to find somebody that'll hire me. He said, I know that I cut a lot of that out because we tried to run against you. And I said, well, you know, you have been plugging a match against Lawler and Dundee for over a year now. Why don't we get some mileage out of it and draw some houses? And he said, you think anybody over there would work with me? I said, yeah, you just give me your word that it's business and not something stupid, and we can make a lot of money. So we did. We had Randy show up, act like it was an invasion thing, and he and Lawler drew huge houses. I think we had a $65,000, $70,000 house in Rupp Arena in Lexington. But then, you know, finally Vince called him, and Randy came to me and he said, how much notice I've got a chance to go to WWE? He said, a week or a month or 6 weeks or however long you need to get notice, I'll give it to you. And I said, just 2 weeks, Randy, I need to get the title off of you. And I said, he said, what? And I said, yeah, I want you to make a lot of money up there. I said, you're a great talent. And he and I have stayed friends all through that. After he left WWE, every time I had a house, you know, I showed you that picture, in Hannibal. And every time I'd going or coming, I'd go by and visit Randy. And we'd sit and tell war stories about either Memphis or New York.
He lived in Kentucky even when he wrestled in WWE.
He met his wife
in
in Kentucky.